There are things that you say to yourself that if someone said to your child, you would be mortified. You would never let someone talk to your child that way. Yet many of us allow destructive inner conversations to rent space in our head. Welcome to Possibilities with me, Hina Khan. I've been a coach and psychotherapist for well over a decade. And after working with hundreds of clients, here's what I've come to know. The only thing holding us back from a larger, more expansive life is our mindset. I'm going to help you break through your mental barriers and unlock infinite possibilities. According to the latest research out of Queen's University in Canada, we have about 6,000 thoughts a day. And the majority of it is running on autopilot. What that means is that we're not even aware of it. Think of it like a programming. It's just always humming along. And depending on the inner conversation, it could be enhancing our life and experiences or really limiting us. So, if you want to change your life, get a handle on your inner conversations. This is a critical aspect of what I do with clients. I don't teach them what to think, but rather how to think. In fact, one question I will ask is, "Are you thinking?" And they say, "Hina, I am thinking all the time. I can't stop thinking. If I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, my mind is racing." And I tell them that is not thinking. That's mental chatter. And it's probably the same mental chatter that they've been having for years. Most of our thoughts go unchecked and are not serving us. It's been repeated so many times that we take it to be fact when it's not. The problem is, these outdated thoughts can be the filter that we see and experience our world through. Let me explain what I mean by self-talk. I am talking about how you truly feel about yourself, and it is always there. Now you become aware of it in certain experiences. For example, there is a new position you would like to go for at work, and then the self-talk, which has always been there, gets louder. You can't do that. They won't give it to you. You're too old. You're too young. Blah, 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 blah. And it's relentless and it fights dirty. Here's the other thing. It's also very familiar. So you convince yourself through this inner dialogue of why you can't do something and why it's not worth the risk. I want you to think of it this way. Imagine a field with tall grass, and in one part of the field, the grass is matted down because it has been walked on so many times. Let that represent your thoughts that are on autopilot. It's a well-worn path and you don't have to think. You wake up in the morning and you are walking this path of thoughts. This is what keeps people in jobs they don't like, in unfulfilled relationships, and staying firm in their comfort zone. That well-worn path was created from when you were really young. It was created by what was repeatedly said to you, the conversations in your family, the culture you grew up in, the community you lived in. Look, you're not necessarily responsible for those beliefs that you hold, but you are now responsible to change them if they're not serving you. This can be easier said than done. Remember that field I mentioned? Now imagine that you are creating a new path of thoughts. Well, at first, the grass is going to bounce right back after you walk on it. It will take repetition of the new thoughts for you to create a path that is easy to walk. But remember, this is new territory. So therefore, it's going to be uncomfortable. But it is absolutely necessary for things to change. For your inner speech, matches your outer reality. How you feel about yourself is mirrored to you in your environment. Here's the beautiful thing. You can change things right now by going on a mental detox of sorts. I remember one client I was working with used to refer to herself as a hot mess. It was in a self-deprecating way and would often get a chuckle from her friends. But I told her to stop saying that to herself. Firstly, it's not true. And secondly, she's perpetuating this characterization of herself. The power of your self-talk is enormous. And you know what I find? So many times we're concerned with what other people think, what they're thinking about us. And here's what I've come to know. They're not thinking about us as much as we think they're thinking about us. What really matters is what we think about ourselves. So, what are you thinking? Now, you may be thinking, how do I start a mental detox? Well, first, you become aware of the thoughts. And when you catch yourself saying, I can't, interrupt that and simply say, what if I could? Or, what if it is possible? To go straight to I can or I got this from I can't may be too much of a stretch for your belief system. But you could accept that it might be possible. And then you build on that and walk down that thought pattern. A really great example of this is Navy SEAL and ultra athlete David Goggins. He credits self-talk for turning his life around, and one of the reasons he's been able to hit massive goals. What was said to him as he was growing up as a Black boy in the U.S., living only 20 minutes from the Klan headquarters, would have broken many of us. Remember, your inner critic is shaped by the environment you grew up in. He was repeatedly met with racial slurs, hostility, and was bullied. What happens is we will take on the narrative, meaning that perpetrator may not be in our life anymore, but we now say these things to ourselves. You've got to look up his story. It is so amazing. And at the heart of it, what you're going to find is he changed his inner conversation to start to match what he wanted. He knew it was going to be a stretch to go from I'm a loser to I'm a Navy SEAL. So he went to, what if I could pass the training? What if? Two very powerful words that interrupted years of programming. And then he started to build on that. Now he's considered by many to be the world's best ultra athlete. He has completed 60 endurance races and even done 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours. Now over to you. Start to think about your what-ifs. Think about your goals. Now, does your self-talk match the self-talk of the person that has your goal? As you know, we end each episode with gratitude, and we're going to do that now. Grab a notebook and a pen, or open up notes on your phone. Press pause and do that now. Great. Now I want you to think about you, the qualities that you have that you're grateful for. Close your eyes and connect with what comes up for you. And now open your eyes and write all those amazing qualities down. I would love to know some of them. Send them over to me on Instagram at Coach with Hina. By the way, if you love this content, can you do me a favor? Will you rate it or write a review right now? When you do this, it helps us reach more people. I really, really appreciate it. And I will meet you here next time on Possibilities. This episode was produced by Stephanie Phillips, presented by Frequency Podcast Network.